There's a type of self-projection that a lot of people are uncomfortable with, but I'm going to make a video today explaining it, and that is absolve self-projection. Let's get the first other three out of the way so you guys understand. Emotional self-projections are the only ones that are constant that we do all the time. What I feel about you is actually what I feel about myself. Facts are not self-projection. If I see rain, it doesn't mean that I'm rain. But how do I feel about that rain? Depending on that moment, I will project that emotion on the rain. The other three are not constant. When we become aware of them, we can stop them. Knowledge self-projection. I assume you should know what I know. For example, I'm really good at math and I get really bothered when somebody's not good at math. Presumption self-projection is assuming everybody should share the same beliefs, thoughts, and emotions as me. Because I'm in a good mood, everybody should be in a good mood. When I believe in something, I think everybody should share that belief. Otherwise, I get angry or annoyed at that. Now let's talk about absolve self-projection. This is when we completely absolve ourselves from any actions, thoughts, emotions, and even energy, and we attribute it to other people. People who do this usually have a lack of self-awareness. If they are around other people and have thoughts, feelings, emotions, or feel energy, they believe it does not belong to them, even though it's coming from them. It belongs to other people. Oftentimes, people who do this will not recognize when it's a positive thought, feeling, emotion, or energy. They will claim that as theirs, but they will attribute negative energy or negative thoughts, negative emotions to other people. And even the same with behaviors. Sometimes for them, they have been so used to suppressing a part of themselves that it's too hard for them to say, wait a minute, this could be coming from me. Oftentimes, the people who use absolve self-projection say it goes both ways. For example, they're in a partnership and they want compassion, but they will not give it until they receive it. So they will say, hey, you don't have compassion, when in fact, they're the ones who are lacking that compassion at that time. On a bigger scale, those are people who will say all lives matter. So instead of saying, hey, these lives matter, and acknowledging it, they're like, hey, wait a minute, I will not give it to you until you give it to me first. Absolving themselves of an emotion that they actually want. Another one would be somebody who has a fear of abandonment. And because of that fear, they don't set some healthy boundaries and they don't express it to the people that they care about. So sometimes those people will take until they can't anymore and do the cutoff. And the cutoff is a form of abandonment. So they are absolve self-projecting. They're abandoning their own needs and wants to please others. And then they are abandoning other people because those people didn't respect their needs and wants that they may not have expressed. Absolving themselves of their feeling that they actually crave and need. Now, some people believe that talking about self-projection is victim blaming, but I say it's actually the opposite. Oftentimes, narcissists or people that are very toxic and abusive will project on you. And if you don't know about self-projection, you will take their projection and claim it as your own. What I mean is if somebody who's a liar and a cheater will call you a liar and a cheater and will gaslight you to believe things about yourself that are not actually true. So when you know about self-projection, you actually find out who you are. And when somebody tells you who you are, you're like, no, I'm not that way. You no longer get gaslit. Here's the cool part about self-projection. The one that we can't change, emotional self-projection, that one is just about being aware of how you're feeling that day. If you notice yourself one day seeing the negative in the world and being very judgy and critical, you could stop and say, wait a minute, I may be feeling judgy and critical towards myself. And then you give love and compassion towards yourself, and you'll notice how your day changes. Now project a lot more love and compassion onto others. Great part about this is that the more you do this, you start building really healthy boundaries. And more benefits to this on the other three projections. When you notice yourself getting upset at somebody that maybe is not as smart as you, you may go, oh, I'm knowledge self-projecting. And then you stop yourself and go, okay, and give yourself compassion, then you're able to extend it to others. If you have a political or religious belief and you notice yourself getting really triggered when somebody has a different belief than you can stop yourself and say, oh, instead of getting really triggered, I notice this is a presumption self-projection. I want them to believe what I believe. And you could sit with yourself and say, my beliefs are great for me, and give yourself compassion. And I think owning our absolved self-projections is one of the most powerful things we can do in the world. Because if we want to see a change in the world, we need to be that change.